got a Kraken build to show you, and this is actually the last Blackout Kraken dial that I have. So you should not see any more of these. I don't want to say ever, but the guy that made it for me, he moved, and he said his new place doesn't have a studio, and it's not in their top 5 things to do. So there's a good chance you will never see another Blackout Kraken like this. They've got extra detail around the tentacles and extra detail going around the outskirts. Plus, you've got your ovals around here, and this is C3 Superluminova. So different than what I do. Mine are all just circle pips. They're not a solid color like that. I could probably do something like that, but it wouldn't have the same detail going around there. So I can kind of make something similar with my current guy. But so last one, and we did something a little bit cooler. We did shadow gray for the cerakote, and it is a new color. He wanted something darker than titanium, but to go well with the black. So we tried to mix some stuff, and it didn't work out as well as we wanted to. But we were able to find a shadow gray and different angles, which my camera's not focusing on those things. It likes to look at everything else. Like, oh, that's something in the background? You probably want to see that thing, right? In some lights, it has like a blue-gray look to it. But as soon as, you're out of the light, it's down to this nice dark gray color. So, very cool. I'm a fan of it. I like it a lot. So we've got an anchor engraved crown. It's engraved, then cerakoted, so it's in there. Same thing with the Kraken logo. We engraved it and then cerakoted it, so the engraving is cerakoted. Smaller window exhibition case back to keep it lower profile. Black rotor in there, stainless steel movement holder, which you can't really see because it's in there at the side. Shark tooth bezel. I'm not even going to try and spin this because, see the side of my finger? It's all rough from like setting times and doing this for like a couple years. So turning this bezel, you can do it, but I'll just let Mark do it. He can turn it a little bit and then turn it back because it is pretty intense to turn this. That cerakote being extra thick and that really tight tension ring that I put in there was just way too tight. It's kind of what I prefer because there's a lot of people that don't want these things to even turn. And that was possible with this one. So you can turn it left and right. It doesn't click. And it's hard as hell to turn. So you can turn it if you want. I don't know why you'd want to turn it, but if you want to turn it, you can. So titanium anodized insert, titanium color with your 5 dots. Those are loomed. And we've got a nice silver handset, nice big thick hour hand with a long pointer. I have not done these hands in a very, very, very long time. The company that I was working with before when I bought these, I don't want to say I had a falling out with them, but I had a lot of issues with their seconds hands that were coming with their sets, and I stopped using them. Now that I've been doing watches for a while, I think I've kind of corrected their issue with the seconds hand. So I hadn't used these hands in a long time. I had them sitting back, and I thought, well, if we're doing something unique and custom and different, might as well do it several aspects that way, not just altering a few. So, and then lastly, a nice thick leather strap. You can see it comes much thicker at this point, and it's still got the play, so it's good. At first it didn't have as much play, but now it moves, so we're good there, right? Got a little tight there. If it gets tight, just pull on it a little bit. It's just binding up under there. Off-white stitching, more of a gray. Honestly, it could probably be either, and with that background, it's going to look like another color. So, that's your build, man. Oh yeah, matching buckle. that shadow gray. It's a matching buckle of that. So you can kind of get a good look at it there. So there's your watch, sir. Matching beads. None of these are shadow gray, but they could be, right? Also, it's going to come with a black Kraken box, which it's like, oh, that's a background thing. I won't focus on that black background thing. You got to touch it with your other hand on the screen. So, oh, might as well show you how to wind it. So these are automatic mechanicals. You can wear them, you can wind them, you can put them on a watch winder. As you can see, it's keeping the right time. Well, you don't know what time it is. I just put these videos up whenever, right? But it's keeping the right time. What I did was I wound it for a while so that I can max out like that 31-hour power reserve so I can monitor it. So how you do that is you back off the threads, and when they come off the tube and you got a little bit of play but you haven't pulled it out, you can hear it and feel it clicking. At that point you can wind it. So a turn away is a wind, backwards is nothing, but it's a lot easier to keep your spacing from your fingers. Because if you're sitting there and you just keep doing this, I mean, you can do this, it takes a while. But you can thread it back on. If you're not keeping your fingers rested against it, you can start threading it back on, which isn't a problem. You just got to go backwards and then go forward again. But going backwards doesn't hurt it, so a lot of times I'll just do it like this. So if you're not going to be very active or it's dead, make sure you do this for 4 or 5 seconds before you put it on. Otherwise, you're going to lose time throughout the day. You're not going to be moving around enough to keep going. If you do it something closer to 20, 25 seconds, like what I'm kind of doing right now, you're going to max out your 31-hour power reserve, but you can't overwind it, so don't worry about that. You can sit here and wind this for an hour if you want. You're just going to get your 31 hours. But often, I've noticed this goes way longer than 31 hours. So 31 might just be the safe number for them. But I want to tell you, I've seen 2 days later, it's still running strong. Like, we're talking 48 hours. But I do so many watches sometimes I'm like, maybe I was winding it again. So I don't know. So you can see I'm still winding it. I can sit here and wind this all day. It won't matter. It won't hurt it. Okay. So if you pull to the one and only click, you can now set your time. You'll notice you've got a wobble crown. It's deflecting lateral pressure against transferring into the stem and into the movement. So what I do so that it's not wobbling so much is I just kind of pull it and keep that pressure. Okay. If you do that, it's not wobbling, right? It's just pulling straight out. It's not a hacking movement, so it's going to keep running. Okay, Google, what time is it?
It's 11:15 a.m.
It is 11:15 a.m. We got a windstorm going on outside. It also makes it nice and easy to push right back over to thread down. Mark, there's your watch, sir. I hope you like it. I think it's a pretty killer watch. Yeah, I think it turned out pretty kick-ass, dude. So I was happy with it. I know we had a little bit of a plan. And then whenever I got that, I was like, okay. It wasn't exactly what I planned for, but I like it. And as I started putting it together, I was like, all right, I like it way more. I like it way, way more. So I hope you love it, buddy. Every build comes with watch cleaner. This is good on all glass and metal parts, everything here. It's non-toxic, non-residue, non-streaking. Also, you're going to get some leather conditioner. This is good to keep this perfectly soft. It's nice and pliable and soft. But if you ever feel that it's getting rough or anything like that, apply some, let it soak in, remove any excess. A little bit will go a long way. You shouldn't need to use it very often. And then lastly, some fine scratch remover. This is Novus 2 from Amazon repackaged. This is an acrylic glass and you can scratch it. So if you do, just put a tiny bit on there and buff against that scratch, filling that scratch. Then use your thumb behind your included microfiber. Generate some heat as you're kind of like pushing on it and buffing it. And you will remove that scratch in about 15 seconds. Just use what you need. Otherwise, you're going to be pushing stuff up under around your bezel. You're going to be soaking a lot into your rag. Just remember, you're only filling a crack. So if you put a whole bunch on there, it's got to go somewhere. So it's going to get pushed all around and go into your rag. So just only use a little bit, I promise. That right there, I send one of these with every watch. I could probably send one of these with every 5 watches. So it only cost me like $3 to redo one of these, to make one of these. So I just give one with every single one. but literally there's enough in there to probably last 5 watches, the entire life of the 5 watches that you have them. So I promise you, there's plenty in there. Don't use it like don't use it, crazy, I guess. So that is the build. I hope you like it, man. You got the final Blackout Kraken build. Sorry for the longer video. This is Mark's first watch from me, so I just want to make sure I was covering all the bases. And if you want me to build you something custom and unique, reach out. And if you want to continue to see builds like this, like and subscribe as I put them up all the time. Thanks, guys.